I will destroy 2 of them. Yeah. In later games, you select chips to throw away, and that gives you more replacements than what you tossed out effectively. But we'll get into that if I ever cover the later games in the series. Good job. That's all for today, class. After class? Phew. Wow, today just flew by, huh? Let's go home. Okay. But, before we do that, I do have one thing to settle. We have a net battle with Dex that we want to take care of. Well, got saved by the bell, but now it's time to fight. Gutsman rocks. I got the latest version yesterday. Let's do it. Alrighty then. That's the spirit. Don't be a crybaby if you lose here. Now, to be honest, the earlier versions of Gutsman are not much of a challenge. In fact, the only times I'd ever call Gutsman threatening in any sense of the word is once you hit Battle Network 3. And even then, it's partway through the story once he gets certain upgrades. His moves are fairly non-threatening and easy to deal with in the later games. But now, to basically explain the battle system. Basically, the analogy I like to use is, you have a deck of cards here. And you get dealt 5 of them at the start. And get more if you don't select anything. Just go without for a turn. And then the thing is, you only keep those 1 turn, and they will go away after that. And you can run out if you use them all. Other than that, the ones that you have on hand will just keep cycling back through if you don't use them. The selection, like was explained in that tutorial, you can select either 2 that are the same, or 2 that share the same code. And they can be used 1 time each. Your movement area is the red spaces. Enemies are capable of removing what you can do. Enemies are capable of destroying your areas, as you see there. But it's always temporary. So that is a non-issue. In general, but yeah, you can just move around the red areas and your enemy gets the blue ones. The obvious objective is to reduce their HP to 0. Like I said, Gutsman is really a non-threat this early on. Just got lucky. Today doesn't count, okay? And the first fight is just basically to prove that you don't get anything out of it. And And this is Dad. I've made a power-up program for Megaman. It's a little big to send by mail, but don't worry. I'll bring it home soon. You and Megaman make a great team. Keep it up. P.S. Don't forget, when you're in a pinch, you can press the PET's LB to talk to Megaman. And I forgot to mention something today in class. Chips don't run out when you use them, so use what you need. So press the RB and hold your net nav in the net. It's a useful trick called jacking out. Sorry for forgetting, and see you tomorrow. Okay, so maybe the chips don't run out. They must have added that in a later game. I have to admit, I've played Battle Network 3 more than a lot of the later games, so I am a touch forgetful when it comes to this one. Before we go home, I'm gonna jack into our mailbox. I think there was some data or thing in here. Yeah, we can jack into a ton of stuff. Yeah. Can use those attacks. Can use our Mega Buster to do stuff. Like so. But there's a shotgun. We don't really get much out of it. It's pretty weak at this stage, so I'm gonna need to level that up a tiny bit before we can do things like so. Anyways, before we can do more damage, we'll need to level that up. But hey, I got a shockwave chip out of it. I'm gonna toss that in place of one of my shotguns, because we don't have much of use in here. Oh. Len, welcome home. Len from Net Safety is checking our home control panel. You heard, right? About the ovens exploding? That's the accident Mail was talking about this morning. Hello. I think a virus might be responsible for the accidents. We're checking every home's control panel just to be safe. I'm glad it didn't happen to us. Len, go to your room so you won't get in the way. Let's get on the net. Okay. Well, we were planning on doing that anyways. Let's go ahead and jack in. And our homepage area. It doesn't really do anything. The homepage area gets expanded and gets some actual uses in later games, but in this one, it's functionally worthless. Oh, hey there. Oh, Megaman. My name is Glide. I'm Len's classmate Yai's NetNavi. One of Yai's programs has gotten lost. Pretty sure that it's somewhere in the net around here. I have some pressing chores to do and must return now. Megaman, if you happen to find our program, could you please come by our network? Here, please take this. And we got Yai's network address, so I can use that to get in. And if you could please keep this matter to yourself, thank you. Sure. Yeah, I'll do that, but we're also going to explore around a little bit. That's one of those network access things like Glide was just talking about, but it's one that we don't have the security password for, so we can't get in. X panels, just for getting rid of some panels, as you might guess. So we can knock out panels on the ground. That's a rank 9, even though I finished that battle as soon as it started, basically. I really do not get the ranking system for what constitutes a 9, a 10, an S and such. I have no understanding of that. Yeah, and you'll note that I got blasted there, but also that there's no hit point display when we're in the overworld. That's because Battle Network 1 is actually, of the series, probably the easiest. Because of the fact that you get your hit points fully regenerated and an achievement for hitting S rank. Yeah, your hit points actually will fully regen between fights. It's here. So if you take damage, and even if you manage to go down to a single hit point, when the fight ends and you go back to the overworld, you'll get them all back for the fight. There's one area later on in the story, and this is Yai's network, so you can enter there freely, and I can also use that as a shortcut now by jacking in Yai's house. Anyways, yeah, your hit points regen between fights, which makes this the easiest game in the series by far, because none of the others have that. I think Capcom must have realized they'd made things too easy with that after the first one and adjusted things from there. Anyways, this right here is the shop, so you can buy HP memory and power-ups, which is the thing that Lan's dad is preparing for him. Anyways, what I'd really like is a power-up. Because right now, our Buster is pretty much worthless. Right here, we have our lost program. Can go to Glide, go to the Yai's Portrait Network and tell about that now. Picked up a few of those, and these end area things there, those are different parts of the net that you can reach, but you have to have access codes from specific people. It's not like the access panels there, these are different types of codes. Like part of the net that represents their computer system, I guess. I don't really fully understand it. But anyways, Got nothing there. I want to kill this little guy. I'm pretty sure us moving a bunch affects the ranking, now that I think on it. Because I'm almost positive the fights that I get in where I didn't move are the ones where I ranked higher. Anyways. We're not going to be able to get enough for a power-up right now. And none of the chips are really of any use to me. But I'll buy, like, 2 HP memories, which says each of them increases your hit points by 20. And as you saw right there, buying one makes the price go up. Power-ups are the same. And I'll explain how power-ups work once we finally get one. So you'll have to wait on that. Let's see, second shockwave chip. I think we could probably do with another of those, and we don't need to keep everything there like so. So I'll head on into Golide's little hangout.